All right. Tell me something good. Good morning.
Morning.
What you grateful for, Andrew?
So many things. I mean, just living in this country and having so many great opportunities to make money so easily at home, being able to do this Zoom call.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, who else? Who else, guys? Tell me something good. Brooke,
I'm thankful to have Bill Linkwald as my coach.
Oh man, come on, you're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry. All right, tell me something good. Somebody else, one more person. Man, you guys are shy today. You must be saving it all for the customers out there, huh? Okay. Okay, just a friendly reminder, if you could update your numbers, that would be fantastic. If you get to the point, like, for example, if you didn't set any appointments, just put a 0 there so I know 0 is a number, just put a 0, right? If you didn't have a unit sold or a commission or something, just put 0 there for me. So if you've not gone back in and if you're not up to speed with your goals for this week and your actuals and goals for the previous 2 weeks, please do that as soon as possible. I would call every day. I have to report this stuff. So, I can only say, they haven't given me the answers so much before they're like, hello, why not? Right? Okay. Talk to me a little bit about, I am working on, by the way, a little bit more of a reliable schedule as requested yesterday. And for the foreseeable future, it looks like we are going to have a basic skills camp from 2 to 3 on Monday. We're going to have our all group session from 1:30 to 2:30 on Wednesday. Okay. And then we're going to have our growth and emerging mastermind 4 to 5 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll send this stuff out to you guys. It's still a little bit of a work in progress. What I'm trying to get is some clarity where you guys can say, hey, every Tuesday at 4 I got a meeting. That's when coaching is, and it can go in your calendar and you can plan the rest of your world around it. Okay. And then our launch mastermind would be 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock on Friday, and we would keep the success series with a guest on Friday. For now. There's only 2 people on that call on Friday, and we have Peggy Connors coming on Friday, so I'd love it if you guys could make sure that you're there. And I even scheduled the success series and the launch mastermind back to back, so particularly the new folks can be here to hear it all. Okay. All right. Who has taken action on my 2 recommendations for the week? Who even wants to tell me what the 2 projects are for the week are?
To add 25 people to our database.
Kind of. So
send the app. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Good morning, Lawanda. Lawanda is new to our Market Center and new to the productivity coaching program. She's been a real estate agent for several years, has just made a transition to Keller Williams. So
good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Ooh, we got a good turnout today. And Tony Corbett, Elena Corbett's husband, is also on the call for the first time. So welcome to you, Tony, too. Tony just got his license a couple weeks ago. Can you hear me, Tony?
Welcome, Tony.
Congratulations, Tony.
All right. All right. So every Sunday, by the way, I spend a bit of time putting together an email, which is kind of a combination of a recap from the previous week and a kind of a list of some things to keep in mind during the upcoming week. Obviously, it's got the schedule for the week. It's got some links to some of the things that we, kind of have some of the themes of the week. It's got some links to our Google Drive and our YouTube page, and we haven't done the WhatsApp groups because I've been inviting people individually to that. If you don't have access to any of that stuff for some reason, please let me know right away. We have a couple of WhatsApp groups. Remember, we have a announcements WhatsApp. I believe everyone's on that. A help community WhatsApp, And then we have two masterminds. One is for growth and emerging, which is basically 4 units and above, and one for launch, which is 0 to 3 units annually. The idea there is we try to keep the content relevant for the people that are in that group. Okay, we also have a YouTube channel. I only see about little less than half, or a little bit more than half of the people in the group are even members of the YouTube channel. So basically everything that we do, we're recording, and you can go back and watch. So there's some really good stuff in there. Yesterday I had a class called 10 Steps to 6 Figures. There's a lot of classes on the GPS, the 4-on-1, the economic model, profit share, lease purchases, just a bunch of concepts that we've talked about over time so that you can hear a conversation and some coaching and some teaching around those topics, okay? So if for some reason you don't have access to that, let me know right away. Another reminder, while I got a decent audience, and again, I appreciate you guys tuning in early, is I'm trying to get some clarity around when these events are, so we can have them on the schedule and you guys can know, so it's a little less erratic than it has been. So again, thank you for dealing with that. And my goal is to open up the calendar for more one-on-one attention. So tomorrow, I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but remember Wednesday, yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I've got a few other times available, but if possible, I'm going to try to keep it to that. 3 to 3:15, 3:15 to 3:30, 3:30 to 3:45, and 3:45 to 4. If you would like a one-on-one, any of those times, any of those days, let me know right away, and I'll confirm that time back with you. Okay, that'll be a good kind of check-in. It's like you pop into the doctor, you tell them what's going on, you find something that hurts, we fix it. Okay. Any questions on that? Beautiful. Okay. Remember, one of the things that I'm starting to see in the numbers is, first of all, I want to congratulate you because we are making more contacts per hour than we ever have. Okay, which either means we're calling more people we don't have a relationship with, which is fine, and or we're saying what we need to say and moving on to the next call, right? So when you call a person from your sphere of influence, you could probably spend 5 to 10 minutes on the phone rather than 45 minutes on the phone and accomplish the same thing, right? One thing that I am seeing a little bit in the numbers is a possibly a lack of being able to close, right? Ask for the order, ask for the business. So we've gone on 11 listing appointments, but only took 4, right? We held, yeah, that's probably the biggest takeaway right there. So don't be afraid to ask for the order. If you're having any conflict or you're having an objection that you're unfamiliar with or you want some practice on dealing with, let's talk about it as a group because you're probably not the only one facing that struggle, okay? At the end of the day, remember that 70% of buyers and sellers is actually a hair higher, it's almost 3/4, will only interview one agent, okay? Which means that if you happen to be the first person in the door to meet with that person, there's a 75% shot you're gonna get the business right off the bat. Make sense? All right, let's go back to Ebony's thought for a second. At the beginning of the week, I gave 2 projects for the week. The first was to share your mobile app with 25 people, okay? Not necessarily add all 25, I mean, if you have a relationship, obviously you wanna add them to the database, but they may already be there, okay? But if they don't have your app, I wanna make sure they have your app. Does everyone know how to share the app? Everyone?
No, I do
I
not.
don't know either.
Okay, so if you go to your app, has everyone
No.
downloaded it, by the way?
Wait, my question is this. If I wanted to send a text to my sphere, like to, individually to people, that's what I don't know how to do. Like to copy and paste it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I mean, so there may be a trick to doing that, but if you go to the app and you share it, then it'll send out a link that basically says download. You could share it to like, your husband or something like that, and then copy and paste it.
Okay.
And that method out.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's also some way through command if you go to, I'm trying to remember, because I have my link written down. All right, if you're in command, if you go to,
I'm going to look too.
yeah.
I think you can do it through that mass text, but I don't know if that won't show up as your phone number. So it won't be, I don't think it'll be coming from you.
That the Twilio service is not quite as reliable as I would like it to be before I start.
Right.
It. So they're working hard on that, believe me. I personally, I know this takes a little bit more time, but I think it deserves a phone call. I would pair the text. You can text, but I would pair it with a phone call, right? So remember, according to our, there's kind of two schools of thought right now, because they announced a whole DT-D2 system at the beginning of the year, and then it got shuffled around because of Bold Pivot. But there's two different plans. If you're using the DT-D2 right now, you would be calling people whose last name ends in T as in Tom and J as in Jerry, and texting people whose last name ends in K, Kansas, and checking in with them. So that's a way to eliminate call bias and make sure you're touching everyone every quarter. If you're trying to be more aggressive and you want to follow the DTD4 process, this is basically a system where you're communicating with everyone in your database based on the letter of their last name to make sure that you are not missing anybody. Then you would communicate with people this week that are BEDO, bus, elephant, do, and olive. Okay, BEDO. So that's a good system to say, hey, well, this week I'm going to get 25 people whose last name ends in those letters to download my app. Okay, so you want to make sure you go in and I'm trying to see how you do the, there's a really quick way to do it. I would obviously make sure that you are,
Bill, do you know if there's a way to find out who has downloaded our app?
Yeah, it should be in the consumer applet on the far left of your command. What do you call it? Command dashboard. Okay. So always remember you can go to In Command with Sam. I will. What's the name of the YouTube channel? What's that? Okay, In Command with Sam.com, and he has several videos on the consumer app and how to share it. But we want to make sure that ideally your clients and your customers are not going on to Zillow to search for properties. They're using your app, and you can explain it by saying, look, Keller Williams developed this app so that it works within our platform, our business platform. And they took the best features of Redfin and Zillow and Realtor.com and all the popular searching sites and put it into this app. And a couple of really cool things. Number one is we have a system of communicating back and forth using that app. And you can search by neighborhoods, which no other website can do. Okay. So rather than saying, oh, just go to Zillow and look for places and let me know what you find, have them use your app. Okay. And then
I have a quick, I'm sorry.
What's that?
I have a quick question. Is anybody that app, I love what it does, but it glitches like a lot. Like, and on multiple days, I've noticed that, like, even when I was sending someone to it and I was standing next to them, it kind of like let them get into a house, look at one house, and then it just kind of froze. And it was doing the same thing on my phone. And this is over the course of probably about a week. So that's the only, I like it, but that part of it.
Yeah, I would ask Sam about that.
I wish I could tell you it's perfect. I really do. They are making changes, like literally hundreds of updates a week. So there's systems where you can submit your feedback. There's a lot of Facebook groups online where you can request like workarounds. So you might say like, hey, this is the problem I'm encountering, and somebody might be able to assist you with that. I'm just gonna post a couple quick things on the chat, just for those that have not seen this stuff in a while. These were sent out originally on, the link didn't connect. Okay, when everyone first got into PC, I sent you an email that says welcome to PC or welcome to productivity coaching, and that had a bunch of links for the Google Drive and the WhatsApp and the YouTube channel. And I've done my best to add people individually to the WhatsApp. So if, I just got a question. If you're not able to figure that out based on the email that I sent last week or so, I can certainly send that again, or I can help you offline. Okay. So we want to make sure that, since that's our goal for the week, we have time in our calendar to make sure that it gets done. Okay. And we have a strategy on who are we going to call, what are we going to say, right? There's also, as a part of the agent pivot scripts that you guys have in the Google Drive, there is some script, I believe, on the mobile app as well. So don't hesitate to take a look at that and to read through that, so you know exactly how to present it to your clients. Okay, so we want to get that into the hands of 25 people. And obviously, if those people are not in your database, they should be. And if their data isn't updated or it's missing data, like for example, if you don't know the home address that they live in, or you don't know their birthday, or you don't know, you know, you want to have a conversation so that they'll start talking about things that you may not know. So for example, do you know their children's names? Do you know, do they have any pets? Do they like to vacation in a particular spot? Like, you're just deepening that relationship every single time. The more data you have, the more you'll be able to service that person in a very specific way. So for example, let's just say that they are really into wine, right? You maybe drop a bottle of wine off if they send you a referral, right? Or you taste a wine somewhere and you say, hey, you send them a text, hey, I know you're really into wine. Have you ever had this one? I really enjoyed it. You know, again, most of this isn't even about real estate. It's about it's about developing those relationships. Make sense? Okay, what was the second project we talked about?
Doing 25 CMAs for a neighborhood.
Okay, how is that process going?
I'm gonna start today.
You're gonna start today?
Yeah, I have a neighborhood that I want to do it for.
Okay, tell me about the neighborhood.
I love it. It's gorgeous. It's right across the street from mine. Nice amenities. It's Breckenridge off of Old Alabama. It's just a nice community. I've drove by it a lot of time. I like the way the houses look. So I'm gonna go and start there.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Just one thing you want to just research, you want to make sure, and most neighborhoods are, so it's not that big of a deal, but you want to make sure that the community, what I would say, has enough turnover, right? So let's say the community has 25 homes and there's one sale a year. It's probably not a community I would spend a ton of energy and money on, just because there doesn't seem to be that much activity, right? You tend to see more activity in neighborhoods that are what I would call kind of bridge neighborhoods, if you will. They're not the super luxury. They're generally not the first-time home buyers. They're like that median area. So you might find, you know, anywhere in that like 275 to 450 neighborhood. I always found that was kind of the sweet spot, and that's also a very very strong seller's market, right? I don't think she's on the call today, but Stephanie listed a property, I think Saturday or Friday morning, multiple offers, and she's it's already under contract, and the seller is now a buyer, and they're putting an offer in today. So Friday she had no contracts. Today she's got 2, or she's about to have 2, right? So everything can happen super fast. Now, what I suggested to her is she's got a neighborhood, which in my opinion is an awesome neighborhood, not because of anything unique to the neighborhood. It's just the houses are relatively new, right? They're only about 15 years old. Everything is kind of nice and bright, and it photographs well, and it's kind of a neighborhood where a lot of people are going to end up like kind of moving up from there, right? And when it was built, it was built when the market wasn't so great, meaning a lot of people that bought in there now have some more equity, right? And as a result, they might be able to step up and move up to something more expensive, right? Because it's also relatively small. Most of the places in there are 2 bedrooms, right? So at some point they're going to burst out of that, right? So what do we? So she had multiple offers. So now she can call all of those neighbors and say, "Hey, I just need another house. Clearly, there is interest to move into the neighborhood." As a matter of fact, I know 4 other agents that are working with buyers that as soon as I can get a listing up there, that'll go under contract too, most likely. So who do you know that is considering selling? Now may be the perfect time. See what I'm saying?
But I guess I'm missing the disconnect of how to go about choosing that neighborhood, because it's a ton, that I can definitely go ahead and look at. So do I just pull up the neighborhood, go onto one of the search engines, and then just filter that way to kind of?
No. So let's say, for example, what's the name of the neighborhood you're thinking about?
Breckenridge.
Breckenridge, I can already tell you that's a good neighborhood.
Okay.
Okay, that's very much a step up neighborhood, I would say.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
What are homes selling in Breckenridge now? Low 3s? Mid 3s?
That. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good neighborhood.
Okay.
Normally what you would do though is you would go into the FMLS, you'd type in Breckenridge, you'd see what's going on in Breckenridge, right? How many homes are active, how many homes are pending, how many homes have sold in the last, let's say, 6 months. You want to try to get an idea of how quick things are moving, right? So is the average number of days on the market, is it closer to 15 or is it closer to 200, right? Do homes tend to move a little faster in that neighborhood or tend to move a little slower in that neighborhood? Okay. I also think I want to put too much weight in this, but also just do a quick scan to see if there's what I would call a dominant agent in the neighborhood. I would say a dominant agent is anyone that's involved in more than 1/3 of the listings and sales. Okay.
Okay.
We looked at a neighborhood on one of the other calls yesterday, a neighborhood in Roswell that's had 10 sales in the last 3 years. Okay. And it involved 20 different realtors, meaning none of the listings were from the same agent and none of the buyers were from the same agent. Okay, so there's no dominant agent in there. It's not even close. Okay. And
someone claimed to be a dominant agent though.
Yeah, I was about to go there. So somebody was chatting with one of our agents and saying, "Oh, I'm the neighborhood expert." Turns out she wasn't even one of the 20. She hasn't been involved in a sale in the last 3 years in there. Okay. So that's an emotional comment, and you combat emotion with facts and evidence. Oh, interesting. Because I'm looking at the last 10 sales in here, and these are the 10 on the listings, and these are the 10 on the buyers. What was your agent's name again? I don't see her here. It's not arrogant. It's just the facts. She's saying one thing. This is the facts. So perhaps you can ask her to show you some of the sales she's been involved in the last couple months.
So what if somebody is the dominant agent in that neighborhood and they sell a lot of house? I mean, is it like kind of against realtor kind of code to?
No. I'm glad you brought that up. Nothing. That's not against realtor code whatsoever. You can go become the dominant agent anywhere you want. But if it was me and I didn't have a ton of cash, I'd pick a neighborhood that didn't have a dominant agent. By the way, my assistant and I about 3 or 4 years ago did a ridiculous amount of research, and we looked in North Metro Atlanta, condos and townhomes, and single family homes. And if you had at least one sale between 275 and 450, we put your neighborhood down. Okay, one sale in the last year between 275 and 450, we wrote the name of your neighborhood down. We then did the research on every single one of those neighborhoods, literally close to 1,000 neighborhoods we analyzed. And I will tell you, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was around 6 or 7 neighborhoods had dominant agents. So it's pretty much safe to say that every neighborhood is fair game. Okay. Don't let some neighborhood. That's nonsense. Don't let some neighborhood expert tell you can't work in there. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm gonna do it anyways.
Well, look, you're a good agent, right? You know the market. You're going to go to bat for your clients.
Hey, me too.
Yeah. And
we all got to get a piece of that pie.
There's one in my neighborhood, and he's not happy that I posted on our Facebook thing, but it's okay.
He'll get over it.
hey, it's competition.
Right. Everybody likes a second option.
That's right.
That's why I made my Facebook page for my neighborhood. I've already got like 46 members in it.
Great job.
And if another realtor posting it, beep, delete.
No, be careful about that. Be careful. I mean, everyone needs a fair, fair voice. Yeah. However, make sure that, don't throw up real estate on them. Bring value, and eventually you'll grab a sale or two. Bring a lot of value and be super kind, because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of kind people out there anymore, right? So be super kind. Okay. I personally, never really liked marketing to my specific neighborhood because I worked from home a lot. And people saw my car there and they're like, this dude doesn't even work. Right? So I didn't particularly want to farm my neighborhood. Right? But I was dealing with other neighborhoods and I was doing just fine. Right? So the first thing is make sure there's no dominant agent, make sure there's enough sales, and make sure that the inventory is moving relatively quickly, that it's not like below average in terms of how long the homes stay on the market. Okay. So that's how you would select your neighborhood. And then you go in and you can pull the last couple of months of sales. You could put some stats on that little short CMA or one sheet, and you drop it off in the front door with a little business card. And you might want to follow up by calling the cold list. So remember, just because we did it at Bold 100, if you ever want a list, just send me a message. Send me the address. I'll have my assistant send you the list right away. Okay. So again, we're going to need some time for that. So every project that we take on, obviously these are lead generation strategies. So you could be doing this during your lead generation time, because there will be business that comes from this. Okay. What we're doing is we're creating what I would call nurtures. I didn't make up that term. But a nurture is basically somebody who you have their contact information, name, email, and telephone number, ideally their mailing address, and you know that they have an upcoming real estate need, and they do not have essentially a sense of loyalty to a real estate agent. Okay, that means they're fair game, and you can continue to deliver value to them over time. Okay. And the vast majority of people, 91% of people who claim that they have a relationship with a real estate agent, will not even use that agent next time they have a transaction. So as Brooke suggested, it's always fine to have to be one of a few, right? Because most real estate agents aren't systematized, and they're not going to be communicating with their people as frequently as necessary, and they're not going to be able to bring the right tech to them. And they're not going to be able to shout from the rooftops how wonderful of an experience it is to work with you. And they may not be willing to work as hard as you guys. Most likely they won't be, right? So the person that continues to develop that relationship over time will get the business. Particularly if you ask the questions that sound something like this. How do I win with you? How do I lose with you? Right? If I was to find the perfect property out there as I'm working with buyers and sellers all day that you might be interested in as an investment, is that something you'd like me to call you about? If so, how would you like me to communicate with you? Email, text, phone, right? The more you know about how that person likes to be communicated with and what type of experience they're seeking, the better you'll be able to deliver on a case-by-case basis to them, an individualized, personalized experience. Okay. Okay. One last thing is we said that our next Bold 100 is going to be on July the 1st. July the 1st. So do your best, please, to clear your calendar that day. And we'll be talking plenty between now and then about that program and that process, okay? Do not forget, please, that if you are not up to date on your numbers, please do. I have been able to, and I've been kind of trying to show you guys a little bit about how the coaching is tailored to the numbers, right? Because I can see trends, for example, hey, you're talking to a lot of people per hour, or hey, you're talking to a lot of people, but they're not going into your database, or hey, you're going on too many appointments, you're setting appointments, but you're not going on them, what's going on there? Or you're going on them, but you're not getting the deal, what's going on there, right? Or hey, it's been 2 months since you've had an appointment, let's talk about that, right? So there's no judgment here. It's simply, you are where you are. My job is to help make sure that you are on track to where you want to go. There's absolutely no judgment here, okay? And we can handle these discussions in public or in private. I'm going to be super respectful of wherever you happen to be. I know there's also a couple of new folks in the group today, so let's schedule a one-on-one as soon as possible so that we can get you all the right tools and systems, and you'll have super clear idea of what the goals are so that you can carve out whatever time is necessary to accomplish those goals. And meanwhile, just a reminder, your goals when you're reporting should not just be happenstance, oh, I think I'll call this number of people this week. It should be directly tied to what our spreadsheet says should be your goals, right? So if you're supposed to talk to 11 people each day, your goal for the week should be 55, right? If you're supposed to add 2 people to your database a day, your goal should be 10. And then you should also add in anything that you're short. Okay, so if you're short, you know, let's say 16 contacts from the week before, it should be 55 plus 16. Any questions on that? It's kind of like if you were playing sports and no one was keeping score. Wouldn't be all that fun. And you wouldn't even know if you were winning or not, right? So that's the point. All right, guys, I am here to help you. We've got a team meeting, don't forget, from 11 o'clock to 12:30, and I am back to back with one-on-ones all day long. So if you need anything, as always, please let me know. And don't forget to check the YouTube channel and subscribe. There's a lot of good content, from my personal opinion, in the last couple of days. Okay, isn't that right, Brian? You're on mute. Tell everyone.
Absolutely. I was just on there last night checking some stuff out. So.
All right, checks in the mail. I appreciate that. All right, thanks for joining, everyone. We'll see you later.
Hey, Bill,
Thanks,
I
Bill.
have one more
Yes, sir.
question before you go. So the other goal with the 25 CMAs, what do you want us to do with those CMAs?
Ideally, I'd like for you to leave them on a neighbor's door.
So just make a CMA and drop it off on a neighbor's door. Like, I mean, how do you think? I don't know. Just leave one and
You could knock and see if they're there. Have your mask on. If they're there, you just say, "Hey, I'm a local agent. My name's Andrew. I just want to drop this off. I'm, you know, doing some research in the area. Just wanted to share the facts. If you have any questions, let me know."
okay.
If they
And
don't
the
answer the
CMA
phone,
would be on their house specifically, or in general in the neighborhood.
no, I would try to make it just about the neighborhood data. And then if they call you, you can ask them specifics about their property. You know, maybe they did granite, or they did some landscaping out back, or they, installed some kind of crazy jacuzzi or whatever. Like maybe they did something unique to their home. So like every home in the neighborhood's not worth the same amount of money. This is just designed to inform them and to let them know there's a professional realtor that's right there to make some to help. Now, if you, I would suggest, if you've got your little one sheet and before you print it off and start handing it out, if you want to post it in the group and get some feedback on it, I'd be happy to share my opinion.
So a CMA, you're saying, would be like, because my CMAs, I don't know, they're always usually like digital and it's multiple pages. So would this just be like one single sheet of paper kind of thing, or?
It's almost not, I'm saying CMA, but it's not like CMA. You would have like, okay, well, you have a finished basement and so we're going to add $3,000 and that kind of stuff. This is kind of just like a market snapshot, essentially. You could do whatever you want, but I'm suggesting doing just a quick kind of, here's what's going on in your neighborhood. I'm here to help you. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, beautiful. We'll see you guys in the morning. Oh,
Thanks,
don't forget, for the launch group, I'm sorry, for the growth and emerging group, 4 o'clock tomorrow is our mastermind, okay? Y'all have a great day. Everything's in
Thank you, you too.